Thank you indeed, Presiding Officer. An interesting debate, if not a particularly consensual one. I'll try to respond to points that have been raised. But what I can say at the outset, I've heard nothing today to alter our perception that the UK Government's proposal on the fossil fund levy is anything other than a bad deal and a very late deal, and as such is not appropriate. Scottish Water has come up a couple of times. I'm working very hard on the future for Scottish Water. We will be excitingly engaged in that in the near future. It's always exciting when I'm involved, Presiding Officer. Ross Finney made a very interesting contribution. He actually said, and I'm going to check the official report, that it's not our money. And the reality is that I have, for example, a statutory instrument on this matter signed by Alan Wilson in 2005. There's another one in 2002, clearly indicating that the powers to collect the money and to attribute the money lie here. What is happening in the proposals that we have in front of us is, of course, that is to be taken away and given to the control elsewhere. I simply don't have time. Gavin Brown also quoted Scottish Renewables. Perhaps he should read more carefully what has been said elsewhere. In today's Daily Record, they said it would be a massive missed opportunity if this money can't be freed up to support Scotland's renewable sector over the next 6 to 12 months. There's been no contribution today that suggests we're even faintly near to that, and indeed to look at the Liberal Democrats' position as well. In today's Daily Record, in their leading article, they say it is a bad deal, and the Lib Dems brass neck in defending it, as they will do at Holyrood today, correct on that, is breathtaking. So I think it's... Yes, I shall.
I'm most grateful for the Minister giving me. If I understand him correctly, he's saying that the money should be Barnett consequential. The only area for the money to be protected for Barnett consequentials in this spending review is health. Not one penny of that money has been committed for renewables under their own preferred method.
Minister?
I'm really quite baffled by the introduction of the Barnett consequentials. This is our money. Exactly. It is being taken away from the control of the government and this Parliament here and put elsewhere. There is no new money. And absolutely fundamentally, leaving aside questions of ownership and disposition, the critical thing is it's being delayed by 3 years, and in particular comparison with what the Liberal Democrat, I don't know if it's a manifesto, but it was certainly a document for the election, page 74, said in 2011-12, the Liberals said, let's be absolutely clear, the Liberals say, what? I will.
Duncan McNeill.
Minister, if we had that money, would you seriously spend £65 million on the development of Hunterston? And what do we need to do to ensure that the West Coast cluster is viable?
The 65 million is the total project cost, not the government's cost. And it's worth making the point too, Presiding Officer, that there's a cluster approach that will ensure that we look at the opportunities. And I give that assurance to the member, and we'll hear more about it at a later stage, because the member makes an important, relevant and correct point to draw to our attention. Sarah Boyack says independence is a distraction. Well, forgive me if I take a fundamentally different view. If we independently could take control of this, then of course we could decide to spend that money, notwithstanding the issues of being in the Sterling area, which is entirely a red herring that we need not concern ourselves about. Sewer plumes are one of the traditional Scottish sweets, I say to Jackson Carlaw, and I'm happy to soak them to boost my energy levels at any other time. If only we could suck the money out of the coffers of Ofgem so that we could refresh the economy of Scotland. I'm now 30 seconds from the end. I'm sorry about that. I simply can't do that. It is absolutely vital that the money is made available to Scotland immediately and in a way that is additional to enable us to start making investments in liberal areas right across Scotland. Strabster Harbour, Orkney, Shetland, Kishon, Liberal voters will be looking at the behaviour of their MSPs in denying them access to this money with some grave concern indeed. Presiding Officer.